Yeah, I could smell the spirit.
Yeah, okay. Now, that doesn't surprise me.
Right, so I do have this ability to sometimes sense things. I'm not like you. I'm not like Richard Spasoff, the psychic or medium like you are, but I can feel things.
Wait. We all have this ability, okay? Everybody in this world. Yeah, we all have the ability to tune into the spiritual world or whatever you want to call it. We all have that gift. It's just a matter if we accept it. I believe that way.
I see it. I never thought about it like that.
Because you are very gifted in that sense. You're very sensitive. If I could speak English, that would help. You're very sensitive. You're very much of a real person, and you feel things very deeply.
Thank you.
Now, with that said, go ahead.
Okay, so I lived in the basement, and I was in high school, and I just always felt this weird energy there. And it's hard to explain, but I just felt like something was always watching me, or something was always present in the room.
But you don't.
It wasn't a good energy.
Okay. How did it make you feel?
It made me feel afraid.
Antsy, huh? Kind of.
Yeah, like it was hard to sleep.
Well, what did you do? What happened?
I just had very strange dreams in that house, and I shared one last week about, a dream where my grandmother and I were driving down the road, and I started screaming, "Stop!" And when I woke up, all the electricity in the house clicked off. And sometimes I'd wake up and my hand would be in the air, like raised up. It was like weird sensations, and it's just weird stuff.
Cuckoo, huh? I mean, it's strange. You even have... I mean, I tell you something that was weird. I moved into my first apartment I had in Vegas, even though I worked with, let's say, bad company at times. And when I say work with them, I don't mean that I did anything illegal. I just was either dancing with their wives. I bring them home at night to their husbands. Take your wife back, please. I want to go home now. No, but what I'm trying to say is my first apartment I had, seriously, I walked right into that apartment, and there was a dead body in it the first time I went into it. It smelled, Brendan, so bad of just body odor and whatever it was. The police had to remove the body, and it took me about a week to get used to that apartment, and I burned incense and prayed a lot.
Right.
I mean, you have another experience about a motorcycle accident with your cousin.
I do have that experience. This is a very fascinating story. It was happened when I think I had to been 12 years old, somewhere around there. And my cousin and I were in Pennsylvania. I was visiting for the summer, and we like to ride on quads. And we were kind of reckless on those quads, like four-wheelers, right? And so my cousin and I, we went way far away from the house. My whole cousin is older than me. He's about 4 years older than me. And we were going on a trail by the Allegheny River on these old coal roads. And we weren't wearing bike helmets. And we drifted really, really far down this trail, and the sun started going down, and it was getting dark, so we decided to head back. And we wanted to beat the sunset before it got dark, so my cousin was flying, and I'm on the back of this quad. And all of a sudden, he hits this ramp that he didn't see. And the ramp had to have been, looking back, it had to have been at least 4 foot tall. So it was a big ramp, and we hit it full speed, and we were not ready for this at all.
Oh, geez. Okay, okay.
It was scary, and I fell off the back and saw stairs. And I got up, and my head just hurt. I could see blood all over me, and my cousin, I can't remember all the details of where he was after the quad, because I had a concussion. I was in really bad shape. However, I remember my cousin got up almost like a ghost. And he didn't say a word to me. He didn't say he was okay. He didn't say he felt bad. He didn't say anything. And he walked over to the quad and he flipped it over and he got on it. And he started it. And I got on behind him and I'm like, dude, you're bleeding. Are you okay? What's going on? What happened? He's not saying anything to me at all. And his back was just a bloody mess.
Oh, jeez.
And we drove for at least 2 miles. And I'm just asking him questions, seeing if he's okay.
Right.
I'm in a state of shock. And he's just fine. And we got all the way back to the house. And as soon as he got off the quad, he walked in his bedroom and he just passed out in his bed.
Now, that is a paranormal experience. Ugh.
Yeah, and then my cousin called the ambulance, and the ambulance came by and picked us up. And my cousin, he was in bad shape. He punctured his liver. They don't even know how he survived. They don't even know how he drove us back.
Do you think it was an angelic move there? Do you think an angel got involved in that case?
I'm so glad you brought this up. See, I'm a professor, and I have a science type of mind. I'm very... I do believe in higher power. I believe that I'm agnostic. I like to believe there's something out there that we just don't understand. Does that make sense?
Yes.
I pray and I meditate. I do those things. However, for me to say it was an angelic experience, I don't know if I could quite say that. However, everybody around me has said it was. I mean, everybody said there's no way he should have been able to drive home. My cousin was in the hospital for a month. He almost died.
And you're talking about a miracle that occurred. You know that much.
I would quantify it as a miracle. I would say that because we should have been just stuck down in the woods. He should have been just passed out like he was. He shouldn't have been able to even have the physical capacity to drive that bike home. Steer with the punctured liver and blood all down his back.
Yeah, should not have been able.
Something bigger than life overcame him and helped him get through that moment.
And it was a good thing, I believe. I feel that way. I'm sure you do.
Oh, yeah. It was not like my bedroom experience. It was more yeah, if he would have thrown us into the river, that would have changed the energy completely.
Oh, boy, I tell you, those bedroom experiences could really drag you down.
Yeah, they can.
Oh, that is a divine. That's a divine blessing right there. That's big time.
Yeah, and I'm lucky because that could have gotten, it could have gotten way worse if we not gotten in the hospital on time.
Now, you have spoke to us about the haunting, about this event with your cousin, so I hope he doesn't come over and kill us. But the next thing you have, you're going to talk about a UFO experience, right?
It was not quite my experience.
Okay, I know.
However, I did, I wrote a short story and I got it published. And it was about a homeless person who was killed in my hometown. It's a nonfiction story. And the person that I spoke to, the main character, he did say he saw UFOs, and he believed in this. He believed that he had communication with UFOs and other beings and other life forms.
Okay. I'm okay with that.
Very incoherent. Go ahead.
I'm okay with that as long as you're not talking about Italians, but no, go ahead. No, sometimes you talk to people and they seem very incoherent, but sometimes they say something very precise and just clear. Yeah,
and you're like, where did that come from? Did this come from the same person? And so, and he believed in UFOs, and he believed that there were beings there to take him to the afterlife. And
what happened to him? What happened? How did it occur?
He was killed by a couple teenagers.
Okay.
Yeah, and he was beaten to death. And the story made major news at the time it happened, probably 20 years ago.
So do you think it's possible this could have been an out-of-body experience?
out of body on his part. But
Yeah.
I think, here's what I can say about writing stories and about writing fiction. Out of body, sometimes you hear a story that impacts you so hard, that story lives on inside of you. And you just can't let that story go. And so maybe it is an out-of-body experience in terms of they kind of exist in your head, they exist in your body. And that story, that narrative that you just can't let go, that you have to get down, that you have to share with other people. And even after you've written the entire thing, the story still stays with you.
Yeah, yeah. And the feeling of it as well. It's just very clear. Yes, yes.
Right. And I remember the one thing he would say is that he was a very spiritual person, and he would say things like, if Jesus came back, we would kill him again. And I think a statement like that really makes you weigh in on the state of our world. I think a lot of people are waiting for this internal being to come back and save us all, but in the state of the world we live in, how will we treat that being today?
Well, that's it. I tell you what, guy. Anybody that comes over and buys me an ice cream home, I'll invite them in my house. No, there's a limit. There's a limit.
There's a limit.
It better be a sexy woman. I'll tell you that much. Alien. It better have. It better not be a guy in drag. I don't want to be surprised. You know what I mean?
Not again. Not this time. I'm not falling for it this time,
Once is enough. We as a professor and doing the comedy work you do, we still have a few more minutes to talk. But my question to you is, I'm very surprised that you're on this show with the way that you thought. You know what I'm saying? I would never think that you'd be on a paranormal show.
I'm very open-minded, and I have, those experiences that I had shared with you and others that there's some things you just can't define, you can't quantify, you can't really encapsulate into reasoning.
Something beyond science, right? Something that can't be explained. Yeah, yes.
Right.
Is there...
their space.
There's some girlfriends I know that you've dated that were beyond science. We should talk about that, but we don't want to get anyone in trouble, though, do we?
No, but I can say this. I've always been spiritual, and like I said, I meditate every day, and
okay.
I grew up very religious, going to church, and I studied a lot of Zen Buddhism, where I would meditate every single morning. And I've had very unique experiences through that make you question things.
Let's talk about one briefly that comes to you what did you experience? What occurred then?
I was on a 5-day silent meditation retreat, which is one of the hardest things you'll ever do in your life.
Oh.
Because you wake up and you just meditate and you don't say a word to anybody for 9 or 10 hours a day. Well, more like it's from 6 in the morning till 9 o'clock at night. I'm bad at math. It's a long time.
Okay, don't worry yet.
And I was working on opening my heart because I'd been through a lot in my life and I have a lot of numbing emotions. And I remember just concentrating on my heart. And the Zen Center was near SeaWorld, and they have the fireworks that explode around 9 o'clock every night. And as I'm sitting there, I'm feeling my heart, I'm feeling my breath. And I remember as the fireworks exploded, I remember my heart opening more and more and more. And I just remember when I woke up, I had way more emotions. I remember that I felt more love for the people in my life after that than I had in years.
Well, that was a big time transition for you within your life. You were touched by the Spirit. You were touched in a way that it awakened your soul, I believe.
Right.
And something that you could still learn from today. It just kind of moves on into a ball, right? Kind of grows and grows. And
Yeah, I think that we close our hearts, and I think the world makes us close our hearts because we've been through painful